Demari, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be doing the weekly tarot reading for the sign of Sagittarius. Please keep in mind it is a general reading, so it may not apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this week's reading in regards to your Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs. So do take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs, and see which video's title resonates for you most. Now when it comes to the spread, I'm going to be pulling cards from each of the 3 oracle decks that I have here. So we'll get some from the Quantum, Moonology and Angelarium. We'll get the key messages using the Beautiful Creatures deck and clarifying with the Tarot de la Nuit. So let's see what's coming up for you this week, Sagittarius. So just want to shuffling your cards again. I want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, subscribing and even sharing my videos. It means a lot to have your continued support, so thank you so much for being a part of this community. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you're informed of when your next set of readings goes up on the channel. If you'd like a personal reading, you can find the information in the description box below. Sagittarius, 2 cards for you from the Quantum. You have Joyous Fun in reverse and Discovery in reverse. Okay. The message I got from here was very clear. You don't know how to currently make yourself happy. You're seeking validation and you're seeking bliss outside of the self. You may be turning to vices, addictive behaviors, certain types of connections in order to fulfill a need, okay? To fulfill yourself, to bring more pleasure, joy, happiness into your life. But what you haven't discovered or what you haven't realized as of yet, Sagittarius, is that happiness is an inside job, okay, as they say, and it's very true. Because no matter what you turn to or how often you turn to it outside of yourself, it's never going to sustain that feeling of contentment. Because it cannot. If you're relying on something external for your happiness, then it's always going to be fleeting, especially because things change, situations change. That thing won't always be there. That person may not always be there. Because they also have to take care of themselves. They also have to look at their own needs, right? And there'll be things coming up in their life that they need to spend time doing. So that's the thing, right? Happiness has to be an inside job, and that's something that you really need to take a look at, okay? So what is it that can help Sagittarius with this discovery of how to make themselves happy, to bring more contentment into their lives, as opposed to seeking it outside of the self? What can help them in their quest for contentment and self-love? Interesting. I want to get one more on this quickly. No, that was a bunch more. Just one more, preferably. There we go. Wow, okay. So, vague, but it's poignant at the same time. Full moon in Capricorn, okay? You may have Capricorn in your chart. The end of a tough cycle approaches, all right? And expect a powerful change, new moon eclipse, all right? So I feel like there is a discovery coming in, okay? You hadn't learned how to make yourself happy, but what you're realizing now is that part of the reason why you were struggling so bad, excuse me, is because of this awakening that needed to happen, this realization, this epiphany that's coming in, right? Clarity, illuminating what you've not been seeing, okay? That happiness is an inside job. That there's a difference between joy, fulfillment, you know, and what massages the ego, okay? And there's a difference between happiness and pleasure. I think I know that the movie is not highly rated, but you remember when Dorian Gray came out some years ago, and he says in that, it just reminded me of the movie, he says in that, like, oh, everyone says, the female lead that he's dealing with was like, oh, everyone says you've dedicated your life to pleasure, you must be very happy. And he was like, I can assure you, pleasure and happiness are 2 completely separate things. And it's so true, right? Just because you may be doing things, gravitating towards things that bring you pleasure, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy, right? And you're not. That's why you're constantly seeking more and more of it outside of the self. But the reality is, happiness is an inside job. And often it doesn't involve those vices, those addictive behaviors, those crutches that we lean on to get that sense of fulfillment. Because happiness comes from a change in perspective, okay? Change in perspective. And I feel like that's what this powerful change is that's coming in for you. The reason you're able to close this cycle out is because of a powerful realization that's taking place within. So of course, when this change begins within, you'll start to see it externally as well. So this is a breakthrough moment for you, Sagittarius. So I'm really glad to see that, because of course, you know, it's not nice to hear that you've been struggling to find happiness within, you know, because of course you deserve to be happy. And now you're finally realizing this, and how you can start taking steps towards making yourself feel content, fulfilled, you know, happy, right? In that bliss, okay? Regardless of whether or not things in your life are perfect, that you can still do things, find ways of creating more fulfillment in your life for yourself. So that's amazing. Okay, so let's see what else we can pull for you in terms of divine guidance from the Angelarium. Oh, this energy has come up a couple of times this week, and it's really not my favorite card because it's such a very dark and bitter energy, but it's not without reason, okay? Every card, every angel serves its purpose, okay? It's not inherently good or bad. It's just the energy associated with it can be very negative or very positive. And in this case, this is quite negative, okay? Semikel, angel of vengeance. So I feel like you're harboring a lot of pain in your heart, a lot of anger. And as such, that may be why you're leaning on crutches or vices, okay? You may be seeking external validation because you felt like there were people close in your life that made you feel unworthy. There could be situations where, you know, you were heartbroken from a relationship, so you started seeking, you know, casual encounters outside of yourself to fill that void. But the anger remained, the resentment was still building beneath the surface because you hadn't truly healed. Okay, these are just examples. I'm not saying that's your situation, but these are just examples of what this type of energy can represent. And when you're harboring that much anger, resentment, pain, we can then turn to these darker energies. Our shadow starts coming to rise, okay, to the surface. And as you know, if you give your shadow aspect, you know, full reign, full autonomy over you, that's going to blot out the joy in your life. That's going to blot out the happiness, okay? It will start consuming your light. It will start to make decisions for you, you know, that you're doing unconsciously that are to your detriment. And as such, those consequences that come back to us are usually pretty negative, okay? So it's important that you don't do that. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay to feel it, but you have to address it, because otherwise it just festers behind the scenes. So this is what the warning, like Simikill honestly serves as a warning. As much as it's a destructive energy, it's just as much as a warning energy that, you know, if you wrongfully place negative energy in any direction, or you keep harboring any anger, ill feelings, resentment, and allowing it to build, it'll either consume you or you'll end up doing harm to others and then ultimately to yourself anyway. Okay, so it's important that you do address any of these darker aspects that you're harboring, because it's very prominent and it's now starting to come to the surface. So it's important that you don't ignore that. And I think the signs for this, I think the booklet's in the box, I forgot to take it out. But the signs for that is like a thorny branch, pierced skin. Yeah, so any of those signs could be significant for you at this time, but regardless, okay, do heed the warning there. Because you are harboring some darker feelings, Sagittarius, and it's time to really take a look at that. Discover what is it that you've been harboring all this time. Because when you address this head on, when you realize that only you can free yourself from this pain and make yourself happy, that's when you'll have this breakthrough, okay? So it's not coming up as a means of just trying to make you feel guilty or ashamed of how you feel. It's coming up to help you free yourself from this energy. So it's actually very positive, even though the energy surrounding this is negative. You see what I mean? So just because something has a dark face on it doesn't mean that it can't be used to benefit us, you know, look at those darker aspects so we can alchemize it. That's the whole point. Because if we just deny that it's there, it doesn't go away, it just festers. Okay, so that's the important thing to know. So let's go into the key messages from the tarot then. So the first card out is Seven of Cups in reverse, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Yeah, this is about seeing things clearly for what they really are, seeing where perhaps distributing your energy, okay, amongst multiple connections, multiple vices, multiple distractions, isn't really solving anything, okay? So now you're kind of regrouping your energy, regrouping to really tap into your true feelings instead of kind of masking it over. So you can get to the heart of what is actually affecting you most and how you can truly heal this, okay? Amazing. So this is you getting very honest with yourself, is what I feel, becoming very, very transparent with yourself, as opposed to, you know, being in denial or trying to avoid looking at something. Next card is the Emperor in reverse, okay? Aries energy. So you could have Aries in your chart, you could be dealing with one. But I feel like this is about you. Honestly, this whole reading is about you, regardless of whatever connections you have in your life. You are in the energy of the Emperor in reverse. This is someone who is not wanting to take responsibility, not wanting to own their sovereignty. Even says sovereignty on the card, okay? Doesn't want to be in their power, their element, because with that comes a lot of responsibility, and that does mean facing all aspects of self head on, even the bits you don't want to see, in order to recalibrate, heal, ascend, okay, ascend to the throne, ascend to the status of Emperor in the upright, okay? That takes a lot of accountability, a lot of responsibility, because you're not only responsible for your well-being, you're responsible for an entire empire. So this could be, you could be wanting to start a business, you could be wanting to start something that puts you in a strong position as a leader, you know, being at the top of your field, or, you know, just wanting to be in this very powerful autonomous energy where you feel like you can literally craft the life of your dreams, where you're in full control of yourself, right? So in order to do that, that does mean facing your own inner darkness, okay? And instead of running to escapism or getting into codependent situations. So these are the types of things that are coming up. And it may be difficult to hear for some of you, but if you're really serious about breaking out of these like karmic cycles and having this powerful change, then you need to be very honest with yourself. We all have to do this, right? We all have to do this at times. And I feel like this is the time for you to do so, for those of you who I'm picking up on, okay? If none of this resonates, then it's not your message. But you'll know deep down whether or not this is, okay? Next card out is the Knight of Wands. So here you are, Sag, okay? And I feel like, honestly, you have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So again, being out of sorts, being out of your energy, okay? Because I feel like generally you're someone who's very creative, very passionate, you go after what it is that you want, okay? But, you know, you do it with love, you do it with intention, you do it with goodwill, okay? But in the reverse, I feel like you either stop doing all of those things, right? Because you're succumbing to your shadow and you feel incapable of moving, or you're doing everything out of a lower frequency, you know? You're just kind of like, again, you're just running on autopilot, you're letting your shadow make the decisions, so you're not making the best of decisions, right? And you're not coming from a place of love, you're coming from a place of ego. So it can go either way, right? Depending on your situation. So again, that's why you need to address this energy, because it'll either put you at a complete standstill, or you'll start making more decisions, taking actions that are to your detriment, okay? And that once you take these certain steps, they cannot be undone, okay? Once it's done, it's done. There is no going back, okay? So it's important that you do address that. Next card out is the Nine of Wands in reverse. So more fire energy, your energy. So I feel like, honestly, right, it does mean, again, taking the time to really sit with yourself, be honest with yourself, bring those walls down, okay? You may hide these things from other people, but you cannot hide from yourself, no matter how long you run for, no matter how much you try, okay? Because now I feel like you're running out of steam. Now you have no choice. In order to really break free of these patterns, you have no choice but to stop and really sit with yourself and be objective. To look at this like you're an outside party. And to not sit there and criticize and shame yourself, but to just look at it as if you are neutral, right? And just taking stock of what you're feeling, what you've been experiencing, what your thought processes are, what patterns do you see repeating, what behaviors do you fall into. So you can start changing your approach, so you can start, taking actions that are going to be healing as opposed to hindering your progress, right? The next card is the Six of Swords in reverse. So air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Yeah, so this is you essentially understanding that you have some unhealthy vices. Like I said, there's some addictive tendencies that you have. This is very much screaming of codependency as well. I'm getting that very strongly in your reading. That for too long you've been relying on others to fill a void within you, as opposed to doing the work on this level, okay? Getting to the heart of what this is, what is at the core of all of this. Not to say you've not been working on yourself at all, okay? But there is something here that is very much at the heart of what is causing you all of this difficulty, this pain, this strife, this unhappiness, right? And a lot of it is tied into childhood experiences, codependency, right? Not wanting to look at those shadow aspects that you've been carrying all this time and that's been festering and building in the background. And not standing in your true power, not standing in your authentic light. So there's a need to address that so you can detach from all the things that bring you into a lower vibration. And that so you can have healthy boundaries, healthy connections in your life. As opposed to falling into connections that are codependent or that are just generally very toxic. And then finally the last card, Two of Swords. So choices, it always comes down to a matter of a choice, but you're not sure which path to take. You're not sure which aspect to listen to, your shadow or your higher self, right? What is your thoughts telling you? What are your feelings telling you? What is, presented on the surface and what is actually being conveyed beneath the veil, okay? Because it's very different. But ultimately, all of it is coming to the same conclusion that change is needed. So if you want to see a powerful change happen in your reality, the change must occur within. So there is a need for self-discovery, self-realization. But right now, you're not sure how to approach this, what path to take. So you're at a crossroads, Sag, and it's a significant crossroads. Because depending on what you choose, you're either going to repeat the same cycle or you're going to break free from it and experience something entirely new. Yeah. Wow, okay. So something significant is happening in your life here, I think, that's kind of triggering this process within you. Something's changed, and as such, it's forcing you to change so that more positive changes happen throughout your life and you don't repeat the same cycle, as I said. But something here is kind of switching things for you. So that's why you're not sure how to take it. Okay, yeah, I'm not surprised. You really don't know exactly how to feel about this or what to do about it, but we'll get into it. Now that I've got all of the clarifying cards out for you. Okay, so clarifying Seven of Cups in reverse. Eight of Cups, Water, Temperance, that's you, Sagittarius. The Lovers, Gemini. You could have Gemini in your chart or be dealing with one. But yeah, you are not making a decision, okay? It's like, you know it's time to walk away from certain connections in your life, okay? Especially if you're dealing with multiple romantic connections, okay? You're needing to walk away from some of those because you need to, instead of distributing your affections, your passion, your love across multiple channels, across multiple connections, what you're doing there by doing that is you're not playing it safe and making sure that you don't get wounded when someone walks away. What's happening is that you are lacking what you could have otherwise been giving to yourself. That's what's happening. So even if you want to say casually date, that's fine, but understand that right now all of that energy that you're just distributing across various connections is running you dry, okay? Because there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. So I think you do this as a protective measure, but it's not serving you at this time. So you're being asked to recall your energy, your love. You're being asked to recall those pieces of yourself that you've been giving to connections that are possibly unhealthy, so you can do this healing within, okay? So you can start giving to yourself, so you can start creating fulfillment, joy, happiness, self-love within, right? So right now I feel like you're being asked to choose yourself in this moment in time. Okay. So clarifying the Emperor in reverse, you have the Five of Swords, air energy, Seven of Cups, Water, the Hierophant, that's Taurus right there, okay? It could mean something. Because the Emperor can also be Taurus energy, okay? Even though it's associated with Aries, sorry. Yeah. There is a lot of self-sabotage here, right? And you think by, playing it safe, right? Not revealing your cards, okay? Keeping it close to the chest, okay? You're avoiding pain, you're avoiding certain things, right? By not giving too much to a certain situation. There's a lot of manipulation here, I have to be honest. And I think that's where, where you're in this codependent situations, you kind of like, I don't know whether you do this knowingly or unknowingly, but you can be kind of manipulative with that Five of Swords, right? Because you're not doing it as a means of trying to hurt someone else, but you're doing it to protect your feelings. Again, Seven of Cups twice, and the numbers 777 and 777 could be very prominent for you right now. That's the number of ascension, growth, evolution. But on the flip side, on the shadow side, which is what we're dealing with right now, is illusions, lies, deceit, right? Things not being what they appear on the surface. So it's like you're intentionally confusing things for yourself, right? You're intentionally confusing your emotions because you're trying to protect yourself from being hurt. You feel like if I give to one connection, or if I give too much of myself to anyone, and not just in romantic connections, but in any connection, then what if I get betrayed? So unknowingly, you end up being the one who becomes the betrayer, okay? So I don't think you're doing it out of malice, you're doing it out of trying to protect yourself, but that's not how it works. But even though you're confused and you don't know what to do, and you feel like your energy is very much broken up, your emotions are all over the place, you feel all sorts of things, it's weighing you down, because ultimately what you want is stability. You want a committed connection. You want to know that you are making wise decisions, that you are coming from a place of integrity, right? So again, this is about, will you listen to your higher self, or will you keep falling back into your shadow? because that's essentially what is sabotaging you right now. And you're doing out of a place of trying to protect yourself, but actually what you're doing is causing yourself and others harm. Okay. So clarifying the Knight of Wands in reverse, you have the Strength card, Leo here, the Chariot, Cancer, and the Nine of Pentacles. That's Virgo energy for me. So you're in this space of being, okay, knowing that you need to tame the beast within, okay? So you already know that if you want to break out of these patterns, if you want to break free from these karmic chains, you need to address your shadow aspect, but you need to get it on side, not force it into submission, not, you know, make yourself feel ashamed or guilty of having a shadow aspect, because we all do. But it's about working with your higher self and your shadow to restore balance within, okay? So you're starting to realize this now, and I think that's what's going to be a part of this powerful epiphany that takes place. Realizing that if I want to break free out of these cycles and come out of this dark period, I need to do that, okay? So what is it that I really want? We have the moon showing prominently in some of these cards as well. So it's all about bringing to the surface what was hidden, okay? What you were not seeing, what you intentionally didn't want to see. So that you master both aspects of yourself. This whole reading is about the duality within, okay? Needing to find balance, restore balance between your higher self and your shadow. This is your higher self coming through, communicating clearly what needs to happen, because I feel like you're in need of divine intervention at this point. So that's what's happening. And now you're realizing, I need to stand on my own 2 feet. If I want to get to the point of being an emperor, I need to first be, you know, healing my divine feminine aspect, the Empress, you know, knowing that I can attract abundance, that I am worthy of joy, and that I can bring joy, fulfillment, beauty, harmony into my life. And then once you are in that energy, you can start taking assertive action to improve your life overall, okay? So a lot of healing, a lot of self-recognition is required at this time. That's why your energy, Temperance, is showing so prominent in the reading, and the Hierophant, okay? Because you need to listen to your higher wisdom, your higher judgment, because this is important. This is going to dictate what the next life cycle will be like for you. So clarifying the Nine of Wands in reverse, you have the Six of Wands, the Ace of Swords, nice, and the Queen of Pentacles, which is very similar for the Nine of Pentacles for me, except the Queen of Pentacles is kind of working up to that Nine of Pentacles energy. Someone who is still very abundant, and this is Capricorn energy, but I also associate with Virgo. But this is someone who's very abundant, that knows their worth, but there's still, you know, there's still occasion, they still give to situations or let people in. She's holding the key, right, and the gates are open. She still lets people in that don't necessarily see her worth, or doesn't necessarily match her in frequency, that doesn't necessarily bring the right tools to the table. So you're realizing now, if you want to overcome all of this, if you want to be victorious, okay, be in your power, you need to recognize the truth, that you need to start seeing your worth. You need to start recognizing where you give to situations that are not healthy for you, okay, that take from you, that doesn't add value to your life, that doesn't help with the healing process, okay? So that's the problem with your energy being broken up across multiple connections. And this doesn't have to be relationships or, you know, casual lovers. This could be, you may have like a whole bunch of friends all over the place, right? But are they really your friends? Are they adding value to your life, or are they taking away from your value? Are they just energy vampires? Are they just, you know, thinking of themselves? These are the kinds of things you need to look at, because I feel like there are connections in your life that are very healthy, that are helping you to become the best version of yourself. But then there's other connections that just take from you, okay, that want you to stay in this low vibration, as opposed to you ascending beyond that, which you're on the cusp of doing. But it all depends on the decisions you make. That's why, again, this is serving as a warning about your shadow aspect. Clarifying the Six of Swords in reverse, we have the Page of Wands. So there's communication coming in. Possibly you'll be the one communicating with that fire energy. The Star, Aquarius. Okay, so you could be dealing with an Aquarius possibly, or have it in your chart. And the Hermit, Virgo. So we've got Virgo coming up quite strongly for me personally. Also Capricorn strongly as well, so you could be dealing with any of those signs. But yeah, it's a case of you're needing to communicate, okay? You're needing to communicate that I know what it is I truly want. What is it that really lights you up? There's something you know that you want more than anything. Maybe there's an epiphany coming in with regards to your wishes. Recognizing a need for healing, okay? We have the water being poured back into the river. We can see that in the star as well as the temperance. So needing to pour back into yourself. To become in alignment, to be in alignment with your wish, whatever this is, whatever you want, whatever you're seeking, you need to pour back into yourself, into the well of your emotions, so that you are able to match it and rise to it in frequency. So you're going within, again, your inner light guiding you, right? You see all those butterflies? So the divine is guiding you back through the shadow aspect, back towards your inner light, okay? Because it was shrouded in darkness because of all of these heavy emotions you were harboring, because of these toxic patterns of behavior you find yourself in, vices, addictions, distractions. And it doesn't have to be alcohol or drug related or even sex related. It can be just about anything, even a thought process that we perpetuate, right? So now you're going deep within to get at the heart of this, so you can free yourself, detach from those things, right? Those triggers, those behaviors, those thoughts, those actions. So you really do free yourself once and for all, as opposed to falling back into the same cycle again and again and again. But sometimes we do actually have to revisit this in order to truly have that breakthrough moment, which I feel like is what's happening for you now. And then finally, with those Two of Swords, you have the Two of Swords, okay? So we have this clarifying itself. So this is a very strong message for you, being at the crossroads, having to make a decision and not knowing what to do, okay? We also have 2-2. So the numbers 2, 22, and 222 could be prominent for you at this time. Do check out the numerology behind this. That speaks of course, decision making, being in alignment, partnerships, okay, divinity, soul contracts, okay, divine counterparts. But on the shadow aspect, it's like not wanting to make a decision, not wanting to look at a decision. Okay, and I feel like that's where you're being forced to address. You need to make a decision. What path will you go? Will you save yourself from drowning? Or will you allow yourself to sink to the depths again and go back around this merry-go-round? That's the choice you have at this time. Because you have everything that it takes to be the Emperor in the upright, you see? We have the Emperor in reverse here, here you are in the upright, okay? I don't care if this is Aries energy. This is about you, in your divine masculine aspect, regardless of your gender. If you face your emotions and you overcome your shadow aspect by facing it head on, healing, okay? Being very clear and direct with what it is that you want. Taking action that serves your wishes, your needs, okay? You will be in the energy of the Emperor. As opposed to your feelings being a hindrance to you, it will be spurring you forward into making good decisions, healthy choices for you. Taking control back over your life. And then 8 of Pentacles, again, putting the work in, doing the work. This is tangible energy. This is learning. This is self-development, personal growth. Honing in your skills, okay? Investing in self, investing in your craft, your career, as well as your personal growth, your spiritual growth. Investing in connections that are healthy, that are serving you, that are helping with this healing process. Even if it does show you things about yourself that you don't want to see, maybe that's necessary right now because you're at this crossroads, so you need to address it regardless. So, Sag, a lot going on there, but honestly, even though this is a bit intense, it's for your highest good. That's why your higher self is smack bang in the middle, saying, look, this is happening for you, not against you. It's to help you break free of these karmic situations once and for all. But it's up to you whether or not you choose that path. So I hope this helps whoever needed this message. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell. And honestly, if you choose to break free of this, to heal this, to address this head on, and to get into that Emperor energy, your life is going to look very different. That I can tell you. So send you guys lots of love, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.